I'm Yolande Poirier from Oracle Technology Network, and I'm here today at Devoxx in Belgium and interviewing Andres Almiray and Sven Reimers. Right. Welcome. Thank you for being here. So, Andres, you've been organizing Hackergarten. So tell us a little bit what's happening there.
So what's happening in Hackergarten? So first, let me begin by saying what is a Hackergarten. Hackergarten is a group of people coming together for a couple of hours, maybe 3, 4, 5. And early on we decide on which open source projects we want to code on. So it could be just fixing a bug, adding a new feature, creating a screencast, testing out new features, and giving feedback to the project. What is important about these kind of meetings is that at the end of the session, we tried our best to push the contribution back to the open source project. So, opposed to other hackathons where you just hone your skills and make new friends and, of course, learn new IDE shortcuts, you actually make a positive contribution to the community. We've been running these sessions. This is the third time in a row at Devoxx. We have run sessions in other conferences. As a matter of fact, we did this year at Java One. It was the first time. We changed the name a little bit. It was called Hackergarten. Yep. Funny bit. But we actually had lots of fun.
So if someone is a beginner, can they also participate, or is it more for like senior developers?
No, certainly the idea of Hackergarten is to be fully open. Anybody can join in, whether it's be just beginners, students, seniors, project leads, experts in the matter. The idea is to get kind of like an amazing set of group of people just there, brainstorming, clashing ideas together, and get some synergy happening.
So what kind of projects or technology you've been working on for the last, 2 days? Is that
yes, so for the last 2 days, we code on JEE-based applications. So basically what we added were converted some sample JEE applications into Archelian tests. So in this case now they are no longer targeting a specific container, but now you can use them as a test harness for Glassfish, for Tommy, Wildfly, what have you. Any other standard JEE container will work, so that's great. We also hack on Lambdas.
Yeah, so that was one of the other things going on. Was a small Lambda hackathon challenge thing. So Stuart Marks brought some ideas with him, and we picked one that was creating for JavaFX. Something. So there's this famous you have to do everything on the event thread for UI toolkits. So sometimes you just want to get something back from that call. So we thought about, well, how to do this with a Lambda and the actual JDK version. And we figured out something, and we posted it as a Git, and we will file a request for enhancement with a OpenJFX and see if we can get it in for Java 9.
So how is how are the lambdas? Did you find any bugs?
No, probably not. So we discussed some things we'd seen before. So why things wouldn't fit through the API, or which syntax is in which place available and whatnot. So those things were discussed along the road. So yeah.
So it's a good way to learn actually the lambdas as well, right?
So,
and play with it. Right?
Yeah. So you don't go there for just being the project lead and leading people, but going there and learning something for yourself as well. So learning something new, doing something hands-on, and giving back.
So you were the expert for that portion
no,
of
Stuart was the expert, and I was the guy trying to figure out a way and solving his puzzles.
Good.
So yeah.
So you learned a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so you can learn more than just IDE shortcuts with these kind of sessions.
Yeah. So we brought people together, people interested in Gradle, doing things with a NetBeans and Gradle, and figuring out new things. So making contacts for people. So yeah.
It turns out that there was another project called Mythos. Mythos is an open source. It's kind of like a humanitarian effort as an open source project for micropayments. This project has a very long history, 8 or 9 years now going. They even won the Duke's Choice Award a few years back. And they are a standard web application. And what they wanted to do is bring it forward to the to modern technologies. So they also participated in adding Archillian-based testing. They also migrated from Maven to Gradle, which was another common theme in the different groups that we had. So we are actually jumping from one table to the next. This is how you can do things in Archillian with this way. Oh, you want to use this other plugin with Gradle. Oh, no, yeah, you want to use this other thing. Oh, yes, you can do it this way. So there was plenty of cross-pollination in this thing.
Yeah. Excellent.
So we still have people going on at the moment while we are sitting here.
Yeah, so supposedly the Hackergarten was only for Tuesday, but we have 2 rooms on our other side of where we are currently sitting, and surprisingly people are still hacking. And today that is late, people are maybe going for a beer or joining a Bob session. They're still hacking, and that is amazing.
So how many people do you think you had? I mean, if you had a chance to...
If I had to count the 3 days, say that we have roughly 40 people, would that be a right assumption?
Okay.
So we had to compete against the sessions. There is such amazing content this conference. And even so, there are still people working on the code.
And how long do they stay, roughly? I mean, in general, do they stay like maybe a couple of hours and go and do something else? Or do they stay... or you have some people who just stay an entire day there?
I think those enterprise guys, they really stayed long.
Yeah, so we were closing shop at 6 on Tuesday, and Arun Gupta was helping us, and he said, well, you know, guys, it's time for me to close this thing. There are other things that I want to do. And there was this guy there's just one more, please, just one more, and I will do it. And they're closing the room now. Don't worry, I will continue later. And he received later so yesterday, he received more pull requests of the stuff that these guys were doing.
Right. So
that's good.
Yeah.
Are you going to do it again next year?
Certainly, we're going to do it. We'll continue to push this. This is an initiative that started back in 2010 in Basel, where I live. It started by another colleague of mine, Hamlet Darcy, and we have exported this idea to other conferences and to other countries. For example, we try to run these meetings in Basel, and other places where this have been successfully run is Vienna, London, Seattle, Mexico City, Virginia in the US, and JFocus, Copenhagen, GreatConf, Devoxx here in Belgium. So we certainly will continue to do so next year. The next one that I have sure that is planned is Javaland next March.
Great. So it works across countries, cultures.
Yes.
A mix of it, right? It's very
certainly
European.
Works.
Yeah. Great. Thank you so much for coming and explaining to us what is happening with the Hackergarten. Thank you.
Thank you.
For having us.
Thank you.